What is going on, guys? DPG here, and in this video we are going to be doing another tier list in NBA 2K21 MyTEAM. So lads, this is the November tier lists. So basically, if you guys don't know, we make a lot of tier lists on this channel basically. So we start off every month by going over the best tiers for each position. Then kind of in the middle of the month I go over like the best overall and best budget, and at the end of every month we go over kind of the best for each tiers. So there is always going to be something for everyone. So if you guys are fans of MyTEAM and want the most MyTEAM content, this is the place for it. So anyway, now we are going to get on to the players. So first up, we have got Paul George. I mean, I'm putting this PG in B tier. I'm putting him in B tier. He's good. He's good. Like, he's not the fastest by any means. I like his release. A lot of people don't like it, but he's still a good defender. Bronze range extender is a lot better than none. I will say that. Bronze range extender is a lot better than no range extender. And even though it's not like he's the greatest shooter, he's not very fast, only 70-something speed, but I still think silver clamps, decent length for the two guys, especially 6'8". I think he belongs here at B tier. I think that is a fair position for Paul George, to be completely honest. So yeah, I like this card a lot more than most people do as well, so I'm putting him here. Then we got Klay Thompson. Klay's going B tier as well. Klay is a card that I really like, and it's this specific Klay that it's not that I think he's better, because he's just not better than the Amethyst. It's just, man, for my no money spent team, he is so good. I think it's because I didn't even realize how good this card was at the start of the game, because no one could really use him because of the Klay Thompson glitch. If you guys don't know the Klay Thompson glitch, it's when Klay guards centers. He still does it a little bit, like it happens occasionally, but the good thing is that if you switch your matchups and put Klay on like a small forward, he's not going to be guarding a center. So we all didn't realize how good a budget card Klay Thompson was at the start of this game, just because of the fact that he guarded centers and no one really used them. But he's a beast. As far as budget cards go, he's a beast, and he hits shots, so can't put him below B tier. Deshaun Stevenson, D tier. He's a decent defender, and he can hit a wide open. He's so slow though. He's so slow. I'm gonna put him in D tier. It's a bit of a weird one. Deshaun Stevenson's release is actually nice. He's also a really solid defender. So I think later on in the year we might get a good Deshaun Stevenson card. Oh man, Deshaun Stevenson last year. Oh man, if you used his card last year, you know how good he was. He had extendo arms. He had Pro 8, which was just the dribble glitching dribble move last year, and one of the best releases in the game. I don't know what it was about Deshaun Stevenson last year. Nobody used the card. He was god tier. He was like 5k MT, but he was god tier. He was like one of those like really underrated players, like the Dale Ellis card. But unfortunately, this year, this specific card's not the good. But sure, it's a day one card. What do you expect? Campy's got good length, no clamps, decent enough speed, decent release, no range. I rely a lot more on clamps than certain people. Like, there are definitely, if you are somebody that's really good at baiting, really good at playing off-ball defense, really good at getting in lane, which is one thing that I've never been great at. My reaction speed just isn't quick enough to bait lanes like the best people in the world. He would definitely be higher, but for me, Campy's just weak. I think Austin Carr, he's down here with Campy. Man, there's a good few of these that are down here. Gail Goodrich, these guys can all hit shots when they're wide open. Like, they really can, but that's kind of all they can do. They cannot do much else. I'm putting Isaiah Ryder in worthless. He is awful. He's so bad. I'm sorry. He's terrible. Isaiah Ryder, he's got Michael Jordan's release, which is... Say not Michael Jordan's release. He's got LeBron James' release, which is not terrible, but not good. He also can't shoot from the corners, has LeBron's terrible layup package. He's horrendous. Marquez Johnson, he has got some of the best stats in the game, but his badges are awful. And he is the prime example of badges mean more than stats. He has got fantastic stats. If you're looking at total stats for two guards, he's right up there at the best, but he's not good. Gail Goodrich, no range extender, and is 6'1". The only thing he can do is shoot from around the perimeter. Not a bad shooter though. Like, if he's wide open, he'll hit shots. Austin Carr, quite fast, but he's just not great in my opinion. And we got Allen Houston. Funnily enough, if you happen to get an Allen Houston with clamps, he's like borderline. But man, I can't put Allen Houston. If you were telling me right now, who would I use if I was playing a game in my team between Allen Houston and Klay? I'd take Klay. Allen Houston was the best card in the game when he came out. but he's not the same. I'm sorry, he is not the same. Allen Houston does not shoot fadeaways from the halfway line like he did on day one. Like, if you guys, when everyone was going on about how Allen Houston was the best card in the game, if you just watch one of my videos from like the first 3 or 4 days of this game coming out, I was shooting halfway line fadeaways with Allen Houston. They were all going in. He was just god tier. But doesn't really play much defense. He's got range. He's got flexible. He's not the fastest. But if you happen to get one of him with clamps, he's at least A. But no clamps is a big negative. And then same with Mitch Rich. So Mitch Richmond, again, he was another one that I was shooting half court fadeaways with. Like, I'd get a steal on a break. I'd intentionally like run away from the basket with Allen Houston and Mitch Richmond at the start of the year and shoot fadeaways. Like, that is why these guys have such a good like reputation, is because when these were the best cards in the game, the dudes didn't miss. Like, they did not miss. But they obviously are not the same right now. But Mitch Richmond, I have one of him with bronze clamps. I don't even use him, to be completely honest. He's good. Don't get me wrong, he's good. I don't use him in my squad, but if I do need him for limited, he's very good. He's got a decent enough handle, but again, like, just because I have a badge glitch one doesn't mean that it's easy to find a badge glitch one. You can't put clamps on him, so I'm going to put him in B tier. Then we got Doug Christie, A tier. God tier defender. Absolute God tier defender. He was my starting small forward, I think, when I got Paul Pierce on my run for him. Could lock down anybody. He was an absolute God tier defender. Got that 90 handballs, DL tendency, and a good corner 3-point shooter. Jordan, I mean, D. He's got bronze clamps, but he's D tier. Jordan is just not great. I don't know what it is about Jordan, but there's just something about him that he doesn't feel like he's any good. Doesn't feel fast. His dunking's okay. He can't shoot the ball really. Defense is moderately good at best. D tier. Kobe Bean Bryant. Go get into A tier. Kobe Bryant, I've seen versions of him up at Hall of Fame range extender. As far as I'm aware, he has gold range extender. As far as I'm aware, he's got gold, or he can get gold range. So that's why he's going up here into A tier. But one of the funny things about Kobe Bryant is that he had range extender. So when he was first put onto the database, he had a range extender. And then 2K got cold feet and took range extender off him. So there was an entire video about them taking his range, but like he literally had range extender and he lost it, which is one of the funniest things that happened this year. Like 2K genuinely gave him range. Like the database cards, they're basically the same, like exact same stats, but they just decided to take away his range. They took away Jerry West's range as well. Both of them a goal range. Then we got Ray Allen. He's like worse Allen Houston, so I'm gonna put him in C tier. I understand if you think Ray Allen is better than Clay and Paul George. I fully understand that. I would just take the two of them over. But Ray Allen is good. He shoots the lights out. He's just kind of slow. He's just like a slower and worse Houston. We got Manu. I mean, A, but I don't particularly like Manu. I think he defensively struggles a little bit. Offensively, his release is iffy. He does go to the basket quite well and has great layup animations. He might get moved down. I'm not a fan of Manu. Brandon Roy, B. I'm saying this right now, I don't like Brandon Roy. I don't. He is much worse T-Mac. And I don't play lanes well. And that's one of the big things. It's like, if you can play lanes well and get away with a Brandon Roy, use him. He's got hot zones everywhere around the 3-point line. He doesn't have range extender, but I'm telling you, if he's within a meter of the 3-point line, he is hitting every shot. He's got hot zones being more than anything this year. So if you can find a way to hide him on defense, Brandon Roy is fantastic. But for me, he is just not it. Michael Cooper. I mean, could I? My Michael Cooper is S tier. My Hall of Fame quick first step Michael Cooper is S tier. Everyone I play against puts like a Brandon Roy, or I've played a few T-Macs that have put him on Michael Cooper. Sprint by. Just sprint by him. Everyone thinks that he's got no quick first step. I've Hall of Fame, but objectively speaking, he's just a better Doug Christie. So, yeah. I think stats-wise and stuff, Christie's better. Cooper's got a few better badges. And also, Cooper's got a way better release. Then we got Eric Gordon. I mean, Gordon's just better, way better Ray Allen. Heck, give me Gordon over Houston right now. Give me Eric Gordon over Houston. Gordon is killing it on my No Money Spent team. He is absolutely killing it. Like, You don't understand how much better Gordon is than anyone else on that No Money Spent team in terms of offense. Yes, I have to hide him on defense. I have to play him with like Pat Bev, and I think at the 3, who do I run? I can't even remember who I run at the 3. Basically, I have to hide him. But he is, he's unbelievable. But again, like, is he better than Houston? Maybe not. Then we got Allen Iverson. I mean, he's D. I'm sorry, he's D tier. He's 6 foot tall. Can't really do anything. Can't play defense. The only Iverson that's worth anything is the Ruby Iverson, which I don't know what. Can someone explain to me why Ruby Allen Iverson dunks on everybody and finishes through people, but Diamond Allen Iverson doesn't? I've never used, like, I've only used Ruby, but like when I play against Diamond Allen Iverson, I clamp him up easily. But man, the Ruby just runs through my players sometimes. Do they have different animations or something, or is it just? It's probably just placebo, but sure, look, it is what it is. And we got Clay. Clay Thompson is... Oh, why am I debating? Clay's S. He just is. You could argue he's the number 1 2 guard in the game. He's got one of the easiest releases in the game. That Hall of Fame catch and shoot is so important. It's the reason why I think Vince Carter is one of the best shooters in the game. Hall of Fame catch and shoot is one of the most important badges in the game because it allows you to shoot from way deeper than you should. Like, someone like a Michael Cooper gold catch and shoot, it feels like he's got, say, bronze limitless range, which is a big one, and it's called range extender. It's called range extender since 2K20, and I keep calling it limitless. But Clay, even though he only has silver range, he feels like he's got further than gold range. It's somewhere between gold and Hall of Fame is what it feels like with Clay, just because he's got that Hall of Fame catch and shoot badge. Again, as well as that, he's got a great behind the back, decent through the leg, so his dribble saves are actually pretty nice. A card that I really do like. Byron Scott, I mean, he's S tier. There's no other way to describe it. Like, he's got Curry Slide, he's got 22, which is one of my favorite releases, if not my favorite release in the game this year. You can get clamps. A fully badged up Byron Scott is S tier. He is S tier, no question about it. And my whole thing with, like, the reason why I don't have Michael Cooper up in S tier is because obviously you can't, he's got a Hall of Fame badge. Like, I might end up moving Michael Cooper up, but it's a lot easier to upgrade a Byron Scott because, again, a Hall of Fame badge is a lot more difficult to come across than a gold badge. But Byron Scott does cost a lot to badge up. I would advise you to try, if you can get him for around a 60k MT, he's good. He's really good, and he'd be a great player for your squad. Then we have got Daryl Griffith. I mean, he's good. He's B. Not the worst defensive player in the world. Not the greatest offensive player in the world, but he's solid. He's solid. Definitely belongs here in B tier. And that's a good place for him. CJ McCollum. I can't really say he's any worse than, like, I don't know, he's like a worse Eric Gordon. But is he better than Mitch? I'm going to put him in C, but it's a close one. It is a very close one between him being a C or B. David Thompson, A. He can get all the badges in the world, but he does not have the greatest release. And also, I just don't know. There's just something about him that I don't like. I used him fully badged up, and he was just okay. He was just okay. He felt okay. His dribble sigs aren't great, but he's not bad. He's by no means bad. You could definitely argue him up here, but I'm going to keep him down here in A tier. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, he's not very fast. He's an okay shooter, and he can't really play defense. Shai's going D. And it's a pity for all the people that grinded for him. I'm shocked they didn't give Shai Gilgeous-Alexander clamps. Heck, if he had clamps, he'd be up here in B. But he's going to be down here in D. Pete Maravich. Pete Maravich is like just a much better version of like Eric Gordon and Allen Houston, so I'm going to put him in A tier. You can't put again, I say I can't put a guy without clamps in S tier, but I am going to put a guy without clamps in S tier, but you have to be a really good card to be S tier without clamps. Let's just say that much. You have to be a really good card. Then we got Steve Smith. I mean, Steve Smith is A tier. He's just not as good as Clay. His release is good. His release is really good, and you can get all the badges, but like, Clay's good off rip. The only badge I put on Clay was Heart Crusher. He's fantastic. Steve Smith is, but Steve Smith even with the badge is fantastic. Without badges though, Steve Smith is bad. Then we have got Marcus Smart. I mean, is Marcus Smart worse than Paul George? Not really. I mean, I'll move Paul George down one. Marcus Smart, though, on defense is elite. He is absolutely elite on that end of the floor. Now we got Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield is a good shooter. And that's kind of really it. Can he shoot the lights out? Yes. Is he really good at anything else? Not really. He's actually kind of quick. Just can't really play defense. He's not. He's like a much worse Eric Gordon. I might take him over Ray Allen overall, but he is genuinely the worst Eric Gordon. Des Mason. I mean, he's not good on offense. He's good on the fast break and he blows by people, but that's about it. He can't shoot the ball to save his life. But Des Mason going B. Yeah, I think that's about fair. Then we got Isaiah Ryder. Let me go B. Around the same. Isaiah Ryder is a good dunker. He is definitely a good dunker. He's a moderately good shooter, whereas Des Mason can't shoot to save his life, but Des Mason can play defense, I think. So it's a bit of a weird one. Like, I don't think either of them belong in the top 2 tiers, but they're about okay. And this Isaiah Ryder is night and day. This Isaiah Ryder, man, I hate this one so much. Are these both pictures from the same dunk contest? Really, 2K? Really? You don't have any more pictures of J.R. Ryder? No other ones? Now you got Richie. Richie's going A. Man, Richie's good. Richie's so good, lads. I'm sorry. If you guys have ever used Richie, the dude's handle's good. His release is god tier. He dunks on everybody. He's definitely best at the point guard position, but he can lock people down. He is so nice. He's so nice. Tracy McGrady. I'm going against my rule of you can't put an S tier you can't put a guy in S tier that does some clamps, because T-Mac, I found out how you can use him. Because of his height and his wingspan, T-Mac can guard power forwards. So unless your opponent is running like a LeBron, a power forward, or a Hall of Fame quick first step Diao, a power forward, but like, unless you are coming up against the literal best team in the game, you can hide him. As long as you're not coming up against like a LeBron, a power forward, a half quick first step player, point guard, 2 guard, and small forward, you can always hide this T-Mac because of his length. Offensively, he's the best, probably card in the game. His release unbelievable, he dunks and everybody's handles okay. Yeah, T-Mac's a beast. He's definitely cost more than he's worth, but he's a beast. Donovan Mitchell, S. When Donovan Mitchell's badged up, he's a beast. His release is, he's smaller than Richie Guerin, because obviously he's 6'1", but even though they made him 2 inches smaller than last year he was 6'3" in all his cards, they made him 2 inches smaller, but there's a but, they kept the same wingspan. So he's 6'1" with a 6'10" wingspan. So he's going to feel like he's going to feel taller than 6'1". So he's going to feel like he's about 6'2", 6'3", or sorry, maybe 6'3", 6'4", which isn't the biggest deal in the world, but trust me, it helps. He can also blow by people so easily, dunks on everybody, and he's got one of the best releases in the game with the potential to get range extender. Donovan Mitchell is that dude. He's S tier. Then we got Oladipo. Let me put Oladipo in A. Let me put Oladipo in A tier. His defense is elite and he shoots the ball quite well. No range extender, which is putting him off S tier, but like, if I'm putting Doug Christie in A tier, I gotta put Oladipo there. Vince Carter. Vince Carter is worse Pete Maravich. I'm sorry. Not Vince Carter, James Harden. Vince Carter would be an S tier if he was a 2 guard. But James Harden is worse Pete Maravich. I don't care that he's a million MT. I do not care that he is a million MT. He's still not an S tier player. He's got the Pro 3 behind the back, a mediocre release, and no defense. Pete Maravich has got Ray Allen base, which is a great release, the Curry slide, and the Pro 6 behind the back. Yes, Pro 3 is better. James Harden is not awful. He is bang average. Give me Michael Cooper over James Harden. Give me badged up Kobe over Harden. Give me Steve Smith badged up over Harden. Give me Richie Guerin over James Harden. Like, James Harden is one of the lower players in A tier. I'm telling you. Yes, T-Mac without clamps is a beast. James Harden is not. He is not. That's all I'm going to say. He's just not. Then we got Mobley. I mean, Mobley shoots the lights out. but he's just like a slightly better Ray Allen, I guess. Definitely not a perfect card. Not like a god tier card in any way, but he's fine. He's fine, especially for, what's it, 100 wins in TTO. If you're playing the game anyway and you get him, he's a decent card. And we got Otis. Hey, good defender, good shooter. Again, one of the better guys to run a point guard in this game. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get him on my own account, but he's really good. Otis is really, really good. So anyway, that's the video. This is the tier list. We've only got one of our players in the word list here, and my god, I hate this card so much. And a lot of day, one card's down here in D tier, and just some cards that are just supremely disappointing. And then, as we go up, we have our 4 S tier players. And I am telling you, just because Harden is 1 million MT does not mean he's better than Clay. Just because he's 1 million MT does not make him better than badged up Byron Scott. Does not make him better than badged up Donovan Mitchell. I'm telling you right now, because this is going to be the one that is most, probably most controversial. Just because he's 1 million MT does not mean he's good. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.